Interesting, some of the stuff that I've been able to do and accomplish, and it's always easier to put it into perspective. So I've, for example, like I train pulling fire trucks. That's normal training. I've pulled something as big as a Hercules C-130 transport plane. So that was like 90,000 pounds. So it was just the overwhelming size of that, and me being able to move it with only the strength of my body was cool. And I mean, I hold several different world records in lifting. Atlas stones, like the round stones that we lift in strongman. I've lifted the heaviest stone ever at 558 pounds over a 4-foot bar. So that's one of the things that I'm more proud of, I guess. And you know, I love training. I mean, I've deadlifted almost 1,000 pounds on a normal bar. You know, from the floor. And so there's you know, I'm always setting goals too to get better. So it's, you know, I mean, I've achieved a lot of things, but you know, I'm not satisfied with everything I've done yet. So, you know, I always want to get better, always pushing for that. I've definitely had to work very hard to, you know, overcome a lot of challenges in my life. And, you know, with my career as a strongman, you know, I started out and a lot of people told me that, you know, just the negative people out there, you know, and everybody has those negative people, and it's that I didn't really listen to them. They told me that I would never be able to do it and I'd never be able to make it, and that, you know, all the other guys at this level are so much bigger and stronger than I am, and you know, I just never believed them. You know, I had a vision and a goal that I wanted to, you know, go after and pursue, and that's what I did. So, you know, for me, it's been quite a journey, you know, and I've been very blessed with my life to be able to do what I do, and, you know, to have got to where I've gotten. I mean, I get to travel the world and lift and you know, compete against the strongest men in the world. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough, obviously, to win, you know, the World's Strongest Man contest twice now, and I've still got a lot of good years ahead of me, and I'm very, you know, still very competitive. I'm always trying to get better, and so, you know, I still have a big drive and a big passion for getting better. And so, you know, hopefully over the next however many years I choose to compete, I can be very competitive, and you know, obviously my biggest goal is now adding more titles to that and winning more professional contests, and you know, being successful with this.
Snatched away Zaviscus's world record in the deadlift, maybe the most important record of them all.
Gosh, I've had a lot of moments that I'm very proud of. I would say probably, if I had to pick one, it would be winning my very first World's Strongest Man. And the reason for that is it's just, I won in 2011 was the first time that I won. And in 2009, I took third at World's Strongest Man. And then 2010, I actually tied for first, but got second on a count back. And then to come, like, for those 3 years and then be able to win in 2011. And I've watched and followed strongman since I was a little kid, you know, like growing up. I mean, I watched all these guys on TV competing, and you know, so being able to experience that and then lift that trophy, you know, and to be, you know, right now there's still only 18 men that have ever won the World's Strongest Man contest. So it's, you know, to be in that group, that elite of a group of competitors that has been able to win, I would say, you know, by far that has to be my best moment. You know, it's kind of like once you win that World's Strongest Man title, like all that pressure that I'd put on myself to do that and accomplish that feat was kind of taken off of me, you know, because it's, you know, once you win the World's Strongest Man, nobody can ever take that away, you know, and it's just, it's great. I mean, it was a big goal that I had to work very hard to achieve. I mean, I'm always, for me, it's the same thing. I'm always setting new goals and looking to the next thing. I've got a fairly busy schedule coming up. Just for me, I've got a lot of different appearances that I'm doing, and then I'm competing. I'll be competing, gosh, at the end of May here in the UK in a team contest, which should be kind of fun. And then I actually come back up to Canada over the 4th of July. So I compete on the 5th and 6th of July up here in Canada. So that'll be fun. I love competing here in Canada because it's, every time I've competed here, the crowds here are some of the best that I've ever competed in front of. And so that's one of the reasons I'm very excited to come do that. And then after that, I've got the World Deadlift, or World Strongman Deadlift Championships, and that's August 9th back in the UK. So those are my next big 3 events, and then from there I'll compete probably in America's Strongest Man. And then we'll see. I'm not quite sure what the later part of my year is, but I've got a few contests this year coming up. So it's going to be awesome. It's always awesome, you know. One of the biggest mistakes is that people expect too much to happen too soon, and so what I've always said to people, and when I've trained people, it's like when you come in and say you work out hard for a couple weeks and you don't necessarily see that many changes happening. Well, if you look at your body and how many years it took you to get to that point of maybe being unhealthy and eating unhealthy and not exercising, all of that time, and then you go into the gym for say a month or two and you don't see everything happening, or you're not losing as much weight as you want to or whatever, like it's a lifestyle change, and so it's learning that to accept that lifestyle change and embrace it and take the time. So it's small goals and not wanting everything to happen too quickly. So I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see is people walk into a gym or start working out and they expect everything to happen overnight, and it won't happen overnight, but eventually all of those days and weeks and months will add up to you getting very, very far and being very successful.